This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Streaming now on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot. Loves it.
For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
Up, lovers? It has been a minute. I feel like I say that every time I start a new episode. It's been a while. Sorry for the delay. But once again, welcome to another episode of A Sarah B Show. A Sarah B Show and The Sarah B Show. Sarah B has a little flask of whiskey here. It is a Saturday night. I am sipping some Irish whiskey and feeling good. And that's why I mess up my words. And it probably won't be the last time in this episode. But I digress. I do. Anyway, guys, hi. Saturday night turn up, recording another episode. Thanks for listening to the last one with my guest, Mike Mazzoul, which, by the way, now that I say that out loud, it really has been a long time since I did another episode. Yeah, wow. Okay. But it's all good. I have my reasons, and I was going to put things out there and tell you guys what the deal was, and I just didn't. I was so busy, and I got around to other things, and I totally forgot. But basically, I moved. I moved out of my... Oh, God, my hellhole apartment with my narcissistic ex-boyfriend. I am gone. But that is what happened. I had a week of packing and moving, and I also had to learn some new stuff for my other job, and I guess my job. Anyway, it's a lot of stuff, but I digress. I will tell you all about that. That's what this episode is going to be about. So your girl just came here from her brand new place, which is so exciting, and all great things. But like I was saying, thank you for all the kind words from my last episode. It seems like you guys really enjoyed Mike coming on as a guest. It was so fun to catch up with him. We went out for a drink after and continued to catch up and talk about travels and possible future trips. I know a lot of you were talking about reaching out to him to possibly do a trip with him as well. You would not be sorry. He is just such a good guy. Like, you would get, like, it would be worth every penny. It would be a great trip. You'd learn a lot. You'd make great friends. And he's just such a good dude. So thanks again for all the kind words. Remember to follow him on Instagram and TikTok and all those things. And just tell him, hey, I heard of you from Sarah B. She's cooler than you. That would be really awesome if you said that. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into this episode. It's going to be about what everything has been going on in my life. Did that even make sense? I don't know, but I'm too lazy to go back and edit it. So everything that's been going on in my life here the last few weeks, it's been a lot. So buckle your seatbelts. Let's get ready for the next episode of The Sarah B Show. All right, guys, like I said, a lot has been going on the last few weeks. As you know, the breakup happened, yada, yada, yada. And it's been hell. As you know, my boyfriend and I of 5 years broke up. It was really ugly and it was really sudden and it was really heartbreaking, but it was needed. And, you know, I've been in therapy. I learned that he is a hardcore narcissist. And I also want to say for a second, thank you to everyone, because, like, I remember even, like, years back, because, again, like, all the problems in our relationship 5 years in, like, they started early, but, like, really hit hard about 1.5 to 2 years in. And I remember I had some people that were calling and messaging me and emailing me and stuff, the Lex and Terry show, and telling me, like, you know, be careful, read up on this, you know, set some boundaries, do your research. He sounds like a narcissist. And I had so many people call and say that. And when y'all called, I laughed because I was like, oh, he's not a narcissist. Like, his ego's not that big. Like, you know, he's just really quiet and shy and, like, doesn't really do this and this. And I had no idea. I had no idea what a narcissist actually was. I just thought it was somebody that was full of themselves. And I was like, well, kind of, but not really. Like, that's not a big deal. It's not a big problem. And now, like, oh my God, busting open this like world that I never knew about of, narcissistic people and gaslighting and mental manipulation and trauma bonds and like, my God, like I never knew this whole world existed. And like reading books on this and doing therapy and like, taking these classes and stuff, it's just like, it's really mind blowing because everything explains what I'm going through, what I went through, the feelings I'm feeling, the struggles I'm having to like hurdle over, and then the way he is and the things he does. Like, it is just so spot on that it's like, it literally makes my mouth drop open sometimes, like reading this and listening to this stuff. It's just like, wow. And I just am so upset with myself. And I know I can't be because like, God, I don't have a time machine. I can't go back in time. I can't change anything. But I wish I could, I wish I could go back and have done this research back then, or even just looked up what are the signs of a narcissist? Like, what is narcissistic abuse? And 3 years ago, I would have been like, wow, this is what that is. Like, oh my God. And I could have gotten out then or tried to fix it then and realized then that it wasn't fixable and that he would never change. And then I could have, freed up a few years of my life and been back on track to what I want to do and myself and all of that. But no, I did not do that. No, I did not listen. And it is what it is because I know I can't change it now. And again, I know everybody tells me it could be worse. We could have kids. We could have a lot more in stuff together. We could have been 10 years in instead of 5. There's so many worse scenarios that could have happened, but it didn't. So what matters is I'm out now. I am very lucky. But as you guys know, we did break up and we had, January, February, March, April, May, 5 more months on the lease together, I believe. So that was quite unfortunate. And we were in a very large, very nice townhome that neither of us could really afford on our own. So we couldn't do that. I wanted to break the lease. He said he couldn't afford it. So we couldn't do that. It was a bad situation to be in. Luckily, we did have 2 bedrooms, so we split up into those. And it was weird. And, long story short, the past few months have been really hard. He fully was ready to, I don't know, move on to somebody else. There's signs now and things I found out that I think he cheated while we were together, which is really awesome. But I definitely think he left for another situation that he had brewing, or just to have a one night stand or something. Whatever it was, I'll never really know because he lies about everything. And either way, it doesn't matter. I know for a long time I needed to be out of that situation and I just couldn't bring myself to leave. I just kept trying and trying and trying. It was so dumb. I don't want to give up on things. And again, a part of all of this is when you're built in this trauma bond, you fixate on the small good moments, not all the bad giant ones. And it's this thing that they do where they give you good days and love and affection and then stone you out and give you nothing or really angry and mean, but then they're really nice to you again. So it's just it's kind of what builds this addiction or trauma bond as they call it. You guys go read on this stuff. It's fascinating. And if you're having any issues in your relationship or anything similar to what I'm saying, really do your research. I promise it's going to blow your mind. Look up Dr. Ramani. She's the #1 leading narcissist doctor. And it's just uncanny. The book I'm reading right now is called It's Not You. So definitely check that out. But anyway, so it's been really difficult, living there with him because, I was still attached and he would come home and we would ask about my day. He'd be nice. He'd be like, do you want to watch a movie together? Here, have some of this whiskey, and then he'd come home the next day and be so awful and ugly to me and say awful things and then stay out all night and then not talk to me for a day. And then the next day be like, let me give you a massage. Let me do this. And come on to me. It was so awful, you guys. It was just such mental abuse. It was really killing me. So I'm busting my ass doing everything I could to save money and look for places. And finally, it was just at a point another day of just bawling and panic attacks and anxiety. And I would hear that garage door with him getting home and my heart would just start racing and I'd have dread come into my stomach. I was I can't do this anymore. I can't do another month. I cannot. And so luckily things fell together and thank you guys all for your help. Honestly, OnlyFans has been a huge thing. I really appreciate it. And I know there's so many people that are I want to help support you, but I'm just not going to get OnlyFans. So I will tell you right now, I'm going to be working on a Patreon. I don't know what my levels are going to be. I have some ideas, but I'm going to try to loosely start that. So at least you guys can get something and it'll help me out as well. And, help this podcast and help me pay rent, which is cute. Because having a place to live is awesome. But anyway, yeah, so thank you guys so much for that. Y'all all helped this be possible, which I really appreciate. But basically, I went and told him, hey, I'm moving out Friday. And it was just absolutely amazing. He was very shocked by this news, but I won't go into all the drama and stuff that happened. It was really ugly. He said some real choice, hurtful things, which is super fun since he's the one that, broke my heart and broke up with me. But again, I know I deserve so much better, and I know I always have, and it's all for the good. So basically, a few days went by after that, packing and everything, and I ended up moving on Friday. So it's been, I guess, a week now, or like a week and a day since I did the big move. And I absolutely love my new place so much. It's really, really awesome. It's so cute. Huge shout out to my mom, who has just been an absolute angel through all of this. Like, my friends and family have helped out so much. And my mom has just, I feel so bad for my mom. I feel bad for your family that you're close to, especially because, it's kind of like you lash out and you're the hardest on the people you're closest to. I don't know why it works out that way, but it just does. And they take it and take it and take it, and they never leave. I don't know. It's just been such a roller coaster, and my mom has just been amazing. She really has. She's helped so much and stuck around for me being awful to her. I owe her. Oh God, I owe her so much. I owe her so much. Not even just money, just everything. I owe her everything. She's just amazing. So I love you, Mom, and thank you so much for all your help. She stayed with me Friday, Saturday, and helped me, get everything settled in and decorate and put things together. And it felt really empowering too. So I got a new coffee table and a new dresser and a new bed frame, all the new things since, of course, 5 years together, you throw away all of your stuff and it's y'all's stuff. And woo, when you think you're going to marry someone and then the rug is pulled out from under you. It's crazy. It is crazy, y'all. So anyway, all this new stuff, and, we were using power tools and putting things together, and it felt really awesome. I will say, when we got to the coffee table, we're like, hey, it's evening time. Let's pop a bottle of champagne. So my mom and I, popped a bottle, had some music going. And then things got a little foggy because champagne happened, and the coffee table might be a little rickety. My brother came over the next morning and he's like, are there supposed to be screws on the outside like that? We totally put a few pieces together the wrong way in, and the whole thing is together now, so you don't want to undo the whole table to turn a few pieces of wood around. So it is what it is. It has a personality of its own. Just, you can move it back and forth. Just don't move it to the left and right. It's a little unsturdy. And just, I turned it around so the screw side was facing the couch so nobody can really see it. But it is what it is. We did it, and it felt really good to do stuff on our own. So it was awesome. I'm really, really happy to be in the new place. So yeah. And I will also say, I got everything in, and I totally expected this. So I was thinking, the last 3 months we've been broken up, but we've still lived together. We've still shared everything. I still had somebody to get home and tell my day to, even though I know I didn't need to talk to him, but that's the person I am. I'm very much an oversharer. I'm kind. I talk to everyone around me. I love talking to people. I'm a total people person, obviously. But now I'm alone. Alone. Nobody to walk in and say, how was your day? Nobody to say hi to. Nobody to watch a movie with. Nobody to have just a conversation with. Nobody. Except for my two little birds that just say, hi, friend, over and over again, which is fine. But it's just weird. I mean, even with music on and stuff, it's just quiet. It's alone. And I was okay the first night or two. It was really relaxing. And I have to say, nothing compares to that peace, that absolute peace. And my therapist told me this too, because she was in a bad situation herself. And she told me when she got her kids out and moved into her own place, that first night she locked her door and went and sat down and just took a deep breath and was like, oh my God, the quiet, the peace. This is my place. And she's like, there was no better feeling than that. Just knowing I was finally away from the fire, the storm, all of that. And she's right. Just the absolute safe zone I have now is amazing. I'm so relaxed. I'm so at peace. I don't have to hear that garage door anymore and go into panic. There's no drama. There's no wondering who he's with tonight or, who he's effing over, if he's going to come home and try me again. There's no mental abuse. It's nothing. It is peace. It is such peace. It's so great. But at the same time, it is so lonely. It's been 5 years together. And before those 5 years, I was on cruise ships for 2 years. So I haven't lived alone, alone in 7 or 8 years. I've not been alone in that long. So it's interesting. I know I'm going to get better. I know I'm going to get used to it, and I know I'm going to freaking enjoy it. I really think I thoroughly will. But I will say it's been a tough couple of days this week. Like I said, I got away from him finally. So this actually feels like the breakup now. Like, this feels real for the first time. And like, there was a day, like, I was flipping through channels and I saw Jane the Virgin, and that made me think of my binging of the Jane the Virgin. And I was like, oh, that's when we lived in this apartment. And he would come home every day and watch them with me, and we would watch this together and laugh and make fun of it. And then I just started absolutely bawling, like ugly crying, like, ah! Like, I went through so many tissues. Like, it was one of those moments where you're like, I didn't know a human head could like contain this much snot. I know, guys, I'm very sexy. But yeah, it was really awful. And then like the next day, and I shit you not, I opened the pantry and I saw a bottle of Cholula, and I lost my shit. I started bawling again because it reminded me of when we bought that Cholula. It's when I had my big green egg and we went through our grilling phase. So we would watch Meat Church videos every night on YouTube and be like, we're going to grill this together. We're going to grill that together. And we tried this jalapeno chicken on the grill, and we loved it so much that we cooked it every Sunday. So I'd start marinating it on Saturday. We'd cook it and grill it on Sunday and have it for meal prepping for the week. And that was like our little grill phase we went through together. And so I like lost my shit over a bottle of Cholula. And I'm just like, when is this going to stop? So that was pretty hard for a couple days. And then I had my therapy session yesterday on Friday. And I like told her, I was like, you're lucky. I think I've cried every tear I could possibly cry for the last 2 days. So there will be no crying today on this therapy session. But anyway, so that is how it has been going. And even tonight, like today, it's just one hard moment after the next. But I think this is what you have to go through, like, on the road to recovery, right? Like, I heard a quote earlier. God, I wish I could remember it. But it was like something, I'd rather go through these hard moments of like healing and grieving to get out on the other side, instead of like finding someone else immediately, or like finding something to numb it, right? It's like going through this pain to like get to the healing moment. Like, it sucks. My mom, I met my mom tonight because it was my brother and my dad's birthday, excuse me. So we always go out every time for like a family dinner for all of our birthdays throughout the year. And my dad and my brother are like, you know, creatures of habit, and we always go to the same spot usually for them. And we did again tonight. And it was my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister-in-law. And this time it was just me. And I'm like, here we are again. It's been like 5 years of having him there every single birthday dinner and every get together. And tonight it was just me. And it was sad. Like, I noticed everybody talking, and I'm just like sitting there drinking my beer and looking around, and I'm like, okay. And then I go home on a Saturday night to myself. But except for not, I'm really here recording a podcast. You know, there's that. But it's good. You know, I'm starting to watch TV shows at home too that kind of like make me happy and uplift me and stuff. And I'll get there. I have so many dreams and goals and ideas. And the thing is, for the last 5 years, like, I was trying to lift him up. Like, I always said that like the most attractive qualities in a man to me were, one, well, there's kindness, obviously, loyalty, sense of humor is like huge. And then somebody that's outgoing and goal oriented and like a dreamer. That is a huge thing to me. Like, a guy with ambition. And John had none of that. Like, he had none of it. But it's like I was constantly trying to like put it in him. That sounds funny. Oh, okay. Not like that, but it was actually quite the opposite. But anyway, I was always trying to like be like, okay, well, you're doing this, but what would you really want to do? And like, you know, he told me what he would like to do. And so I kept pushing and trying to uplift him. And, you know, he would do a little and then he'd like stop again. And, you know, that's totally fine. Like, a guy doesn't have to be a dreamer or have any ambition. Nobody does. Like, there's people out there for everybody. I shouldn't have pushed him like that. I should have pushed myself like I had been doing. But that's what this whole thing, that's what happened. Like, I just lost myself because I put every bit of energy and everything I had into him the last 5 years. And that's how I absolutely, completely lost myself. But not anymore. So that's what my therapist said. I need to play. Let's play a drinking game. Every time Sarah B says, that's what my therapist said, or my therapist said. Every time I quote my therapist, like, take a shot. I am becoming one of those people. But I absolutely love my therapist. But anyway, she said, that it's okay to be sad like this and have these crying moments and these grieving moments and these breakdowns as long as they're temporary. Like, if this is part of your healing process and your grieving process, that's cool. But if you get stuck in this, then that's an issue. Then that's a problem. And, you need to reevaluate. And that would probably be the next step of, antidepressants or whatever. But excuse me. Hopefully that does not happen. I really just genuinely feel like this is when my grieving and healing process is actually starting now that I'm away from him. So there you go. There you go. It is great. It will be good. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. I have all these cool content things I want to do. I want to make a Patreon. I have so many ideas, and I just stopped creating so long ago. And there's a great book that I read, and it actually became a movie after I read it. Where'd You Go, Bernadette, I think is what it's called. And you guys should totally read it, or at least watch the movie. I really liked it. But she's a creator in this. She's an architect, and she stops creating. And that's what basically the movie was about. She stopped creating and she lost herself and became so depressed and so bitter and miserable and just went into this deep hole and this depression and this downward spiral. And I'm I feel the same. Creative people need to create. If you're not creating, you're miserable. And I haven't, oh my God, I haven't created in so long. So I'm just so ready. I do feel good. I feel like amazing things are on the horizon. It's so exciting. I'm still, sad. I still have so many things unanswered, and so it's just hard without any closure at all. But I keep trying to tell myself what I see in those memes, the lack of respect, that was the closure. The, lack of communication and the lack of care and love for you, that was the closure. And it's so true. I'm never going to get closure. Nothing he said was true. It was all lies. I don't know what I think I'm going to get. So I've just got to tell myself, this is it. And that's what they say. It's hard to move on. It's hard to go when you don't have any closure. But that's what it is. I didn't get any. It sucks. It sucks, but I didn't. And here we are. So it's all good. And something else interesting, and I want to say this right now, in case she happens to be listening. I will say I feel really sorry for my now ex's ex-girlfriend. I still honestly don't really believe anything he told me, and I feel like what he told me about their breakup, now that I think about it, is probably completely fake. I feel like there's a very good chance their breakup could have gone exactly like ours did, and he screwed her over just like he did me, but I'm not sure. There's been so much of a part of me that has wanted to reach out to her since this happened and just ask her about theirs and if the same thing happened. And I keep telling myself shut it down, you don't need to know that, leave this girl alone. I know she's moved on, and I stalked her profile a little. She got married and she seems so happy, and I'm good for her. I even told our mutual friend group all this stuff that he said about her and did to her, and I was he made me think she was crazy and did all this stuff, and now I see oh my God, it was all him. He is saying and doing the same things to me. And that's one thing, is that is going to be a huge red flag for me that I never thought of before. That if a guy ever calls his ex crazy, I'm bye. There's an Olivia Rodrigo song out right now, and I can't remember the name. It might be the Vampire song, or it's one of her ones off her new album. But she says something in it you called all your exes crazy, and I called him crazy. I laughed and called him crazy too, and I hate myself for that. And I'm that's exactly what happened. He told me all of this stuff about her, and I was oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Oh my God, wow, you poor thing. And now I'm now I look back and I'm just God, I'm so mad at myself, and I feel so bad. I feel so bad for his ex, that she had to go through all the same shit. And I'm so happy for her that she's moved on. But the reason I'm bringing this up now is because I actually saw that his ex has been looking at my stories on Instagram recently. And I'm saying this purposely. If you are listening right now, ex-girlfriend, I would love to talk to you. I really have wanted to reach out and send a message and just be hey, I even constructed in my head today. I want to be hey, girl, I am going through the same situation I think you might have gone through years ago. Would love to talk, or maybe meet for coffee. Or you could absolutely tell me just to F off. Because she could totally do that, or she could just not respond. I just try to put myself in this situation because, I genuinely, I go between, I feel sad for, the fact that he's going to move on to someone else, which I shouldn't. But I also feel really sorry for the next person. because this is what he does. It's a process. It's a fucking, I guess my podcast, I can say fuck. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. He does it with every single person. I mean, that was the biggest red flag, that he tried to move in with me like a month after we dated. And then I asked him, like, is this what you do? Like, and I found out he's never like lived alone. He goes from ex to like girlfriend to new girlfriend to new girlfriend. Like, it's crazy. And he doesn't think it's a problem. He doesn't think he has an issue or anything that needs to be worked on. It's so insane. And, you know, I sat there and I look at our relationship and I was like, I really didn't let my guard fully down until about a year and a half in. And that's when everything went to absolute shit. So it scares me to think of getting into another relationship, because I'm like, I feel like I held out for so long. But then when I really look back, there were so many bright, gleaming, glowing red flags in the beginning that I was just like, meh, I think I'll ignore these. The sex is good. Like, meh, like, he's somebody to talk to. I'm not lonely anymore, but God, never again, never again. And I'm trying not to look at it as a waste of 5 years, but just a freaking learning experience. So all that being said, ex-girlfriend, if you are listening, you could totally listen to this. You could never reach out. Just know I feel your pain. I feel like everything he told me about you and y'all's relationship was BS. I totally feel for you. There are some things he told me that are very similar that he did to both of us and our families, and it kills me. It breaks my heart. And again, I would absolutely love to talk. I would love to get a cup of coffee and like, maybe we can heal each other's pain. That sounds so lame, but it's true. But if you absolutely like want to tell me to F off or just never respond, that's totally cool too. I might reach out to you. I don't know. Like, I'm nervous. But you never know. So yeah, there you go. So that's wow, that was a lot, right? I'm going to take a complete right angle, like, turn here, and go to something else really quick before we get out of here. Remakes to movies. I used to think remakes were the greatest thing ever, and remakes of movies and songs and everything. And I do respect them because...
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
I feel like there's a lot of remakes I've heard first or seen first, and I really liked them, and I would have never known about original songs or original movies had I not saw or heard the remake. You know, Glee is a big example for me. I heard a lot of songs in there because they would do like these old albums and stuff, and I'm like, this is great. And like a lot of it I never even knew was like a remake or a cover or anything, which is kind of crazy. But where I'm going with this is I used to get like driven crazy, or I know people that got driven crazy, like, oh, you young people, you're ruining everything. The original was a classic, you know? And that's how I feel about the new movie I'm fixing to talk about right now. The movie Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. Oh my God, what a classic. That movie is so lame. Like, it is one of the most like ridiculous movies ever, but it's like action packed and hilarious, and like the freaking lingo and the boobs and the hair. Like, it's just like everything a freaking awesome movie should be. I love the movie Roadhouse. And now the remake of Roadhouse came out yesterday on Amazon Prime, and it has Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor. And this is so dumb. I feel like I'm not a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal because of Taylor Swift, which is so stupid because, again, they are celebrities. I don't know either of them. I don't even know what stories are real, but I'm just like, this guy is a F-boy. Like, and I also just think I'm really down on the male gender right now. Sorry to all my men listening and supporting me. It's not you guys. I love you guys, but just like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But anyway, that, and then like also he played like Homer Hickam. I want to go into space, you know? So him now being like this tough Dalton guy, I'm a bouncer UFC dude, like it just seems like a little unrealistic. And I also hate his stupid like country boy smile. I don't know, like just him as Dalton was a little unbelievable. So I didn't really like that. But I gotta say, like, I was not expecting a great movie because I love the original so much, but it wasn't bad. I missed like the old school like rock and roll big hair and boobs of the old one and the big monster trucks. I did, however, love how the like bad guys rode adventure bikes in this, and they were all on motorcycles, which is really awesome. And I don't know, it was really good. And I've got to say, and again, this is such an unpopular opinion, like especially with all my friends from Ireland, I really liked Conor McGregor in this. I don't really like know anything about him, but I will say you get to see his ass a couple of times in this, and it is spectacular. I think that man has a better ass than any man or woman I've ever seen. Like, that is a butt. You guys have to look. And like, you men too, like, let me know, because like, you know, like, you just have to admire when a nice ass is a nice ass. And this is a nice ass. But he's ridiculous in this. And the other thing I want to know is if that is his real walk in this. If anybody knows anything about Conor McGregor, like, is that really how he walks? Please let me know. So anyway, it's a great movie. It's a great way to kill 2 hours. I highly recommend it. Obviously, it's not going to be near as good as the first one, but it's good. I really liked the vibe of it and everything. So there you go. There's Sarah B's chaotic, insane life and a little movie review cherry on top at the end there for you. And this has been my Saturday night. How fun has this been? And like I said, I also had I had a lot of caffeine and I've had whiskey. So I feel like this was another therapy session, and I feel like I've been talking a lot. Here's a tip for you guys. I talk fast, and I like it when other people talk fast. And there's some podcasts that I listen to. And I usually speed them up. There's like a little button you can push and go up to like, 0.5, 1.5, and you can speed it up. And I usually speed mine up to listen. This is a very talk fast episode for me, so you guys might have to slow it down a little bit, and I apologize for that. I say that specifically because I have my squad chat on my WhatsApp with my friend Cassie and Jenny. And Jenny the other day told me when I was leaving one of my messages, she said for a second she thought that she had accidentally hit the speed up version or the speed up button because I was talking so fast. And she's like, nope, that's just her talking like normal. Okay. So anyway, hilarious. But there you go, guys. I am all settled into the new apartment. I'm fixing to head home now. I am going to pop a bottle open of Sauvignon Blanc. And I'm going to get in my pajamas. And I might post some sexy Snapchats, because why not? Thirst traps are back open. Got in the relationship and was told I couldn't post selfies anymore. It was disrespectful. Ooh! I just felt like, what is his name from Looney Tunes? Ooh! Okay. I really am going to go now. Lots more to come. Oh, I'm going to watch Emily in Paris when I get home. That's going to be the rest of my Saturday night. Cute, 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 cute. Oh, also, I'm selling my big green egg tomorrow, which is a very bittersweet thing for me. Where I've moved into, I don't really have a lot of room to store it. And Dallas just made all these weird like bans about grilling. So I can't really grill out there anyway. And I need the money, and I didn't pay anything for it because I want it. And I'm getting a very big, nice, good chunk of money for it. But my pit master dreams are shredding before my eyes, and that makes me really sad. I was keeping it in hopes because I thought that, I was going to be getting a house and a husband and all that stuff that I think that I want or thought I wanted. I don't know. But obviously none of that happened. So my big green egg is going away tomorrow, and I'm very sad about it. But, one day maybe I will have a bigger place and I can buy another big green egg, and then I can become the pitmaster I was always meant to be. Okay, this whiskey is hitting. This podcast is all over the place. I'm really going to go now. So I'm going to look into getting a Patreon. If anybody has any ideas of the levels or tiers that I could do, let me know. I was thinking about just doing the $1 for general support. And then I was thinking of maybe a dad joke category. I could tell I don't know how often they do it, like a dad joke or tell a joke on there a week. And then maybe the other one being like a few minutes of a life update every week. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm thinking about it for you guys that do not want to get OnlyFans, and I do not blame you. But if you don't mind looking at, sexy selfies and feet pics, no nudity, by the way, just so there's no confusion, onlyfans.com/Sarah B. Morgan. It's a $9.99 a month. That's literally like 2 times at Starbucks, and that's only a month. And it really, really helps me out. So I so appreciate it. Thanks for all the continued support. Oh, my goodness, words. I'm running out of breath. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going home. Happy Saturday, even though this is probably going to be posted on a Tuesday for sure. Okay. And I love all of you. Thank you for everything. And thanks really quick, too, for all of your kind messages. I really do read all of them, even if I don't get back to them. And I was reading some of y'all's messages that y'all sent on my website. Oh, which I also should probably promote. Sarah B. Show. sarahbshow.com. You can go there and leave voicemails and messages. But I was reading through some of y'all's messages the other day, and I was literally in tears. Y'all are truly like a family, and there's some of y'all going through the same stuff I'm going through and have been through the same stuff, and just knowing you're not alone and knowing you have the support just really, really means everything. So I so appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. And yeah, there you go. Have a great week. Mwah. Keep being awesome. Bye, you guys.